Good afternoon. Today's theme is about relationships, essentially. And it has been a theme for most of the day, from when I came out of the shower in the morning. The song that I played this morning, so it was something that has been preoccupying me quite a bit. And going into the coaching sessions that I've had today, which all of them were really about relationships and impacting and all of that. And what I find is that human relationships are possibly one of the most difficult tasks that we have as humans, because most of the time we never really know where to start. It doesn't come with a manual, and the psychologists have done lots of work, but most of the time they can't tell us how to be. However, after years and years of working with relationships, working with people, and here's what is effectively emerging for me as a lesson for today. One, relationships are first of all about knowing yourself. Many people don't know who they are. So if they don't know who they are, they essentially then work with bits and pieces of their awareness of who they are, the interpretation of who they think they are. And then they take this and they project it to the rest of the world as if that's the truth. And they treat everybody else like them, because that's their understanding, that's their template of the world. And it's fine, it's okay, because that's how it is. But it doesn't help anyone navigate relationships any better. In fact, if anything, it makes it even worse. So that's the first thing. And the second part about relationships is about knowing the other. Once you create a language and design a language around who you are, what you're all about, and what makes you tick and what ticks you off, it's much easier to then let go, because you know exactly what it is and you know what you're working with. You've done enough work. It doesn't mean it stopped, but you've done enough work to be clear. Then you can start working with the other, because you don't feel a need to compete, you don't feel a need to impose, and you don't judge the world based on your lenses. You start realizing, let's take for example an issue of personality. You start realizing there are 16 types of personality. If one is working with Myers-Briggs type indicator, you start realizing there are 16 types of people that you meet, and the way they interact with you is not about you. It's about them and their personality. You get to understand them, and then you create a process such that they start also getting to understand you. So essentially, what does all of this mean? Two themes essentially that came up for me about relationships. The first one is around, because it was mostly personal as well as commercial. The first one is that in the relationship equation, there's the part of the equation that has nothing to do with you, and that is the other person. You have absolutely no control of the other person's values. You have no control of their attitude, their motives, and their personality. However, you can try to understand them, because that's kind of what's going to help you build the relationship and work with it. After, of course, taking care of you, knowing your values, your attitude, your motives, and your personality, and knowing they are not the world, they are yours. That's the first thing. And then the second theme about the relationship today that has come out is the theme around giving generously of all of those things that come easy to you. Relationship is about give and take. And give starts first for a reason. You have to give in order to receive. And if you keep holding on and you're waiting to receive, you might wait a long time. That's essentially what creates lonely people out there, because they're waiting to receive all the time, and people become aware of that. So if you give generously of things that come easy to you, it starts becoming much easier to get things that are a little bit more difficult to get. That's essentially the long and short of it. Quite the long of it rather than the short of it. It's a subject very close to my heart, so I'm hoping I've kind of shed some light on the thought for now. And if you want to engage with this conversation and have a little bit more of this, we can have a conversation at the bottom here of the channel, and we can do that. Or you can reach me on Twitter and on Facebook and engage me there. Have a great afternoon.